What is up, everybody? Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video. We're back in the low-budget park today, which is also known as Willow Valley. So we're back here in episode 3. When we left off, we did do a lot of improvements, and it's a nice little park that we have running up here. And as you can see, we do have a good amount of money to work with, so the sky's the limit for this park in the future. I'd say we probably still need a little bit more money before we can consider maybe building another roller coaster before we get to that point, but we're gonna go ahead and press play here and continue here in our year 2 here for this episode. So as you can see, we have the American Hops, which I believe we did upgrade in the last episode. We did go and make it a little bit bigger, give it a higher excitement rating, which is great. And that is looking good. Of course, we do have Wild Blue, which is good. We always want to go in and see what's making money, what's not making money. As you can see, the Pathos is making money. Wild Blue barely made money. I don't know if it went down or not. And then we have American Hops, which did make money as well. And our Carousel, we wanted to put in a Gentle Ride, but unfortunately it did not make money last month. I think it made money the first month it was open, but not this month. So Gentle Rides are not as big money makers, so at least that is what it seems. You can see these people turned around. Let's see why they turned around. They said the prices are way too high. So let's try and go down to $4, see if that will help out. We don't want to have people leaving. We want people to make sure they're riding the ride and not running out. I remember, I think we were charging for $1 for the restroom block. So we basically got everything we need. We got a food stand, a drink stand, and Looney Balloons, which is nice, kind of in that merchandise slash gift category. So we do have all those, and we have a roller coaster, 2 thrill rides, and a gentle ride. So we do have a little bit of everything here, and you can see our very low budget entrance that we did make as well. But as you can see, we are slowly building the park slowly, but we do need to figure out what are we going to invest in next in this park. We do want to make sure it's running well, and before we want to expand very slowly. I don't want to rush the expansion of the park too fast, and so that's what we need to make sure we do, is make sure that we're kind of going at a good pace here for this park. As you can see, we do average around 500, and the happiness is pretty high. You can see we're in the green, so that's good to see. But we do need to figure out what is the next attraction. Should we go thrill ride again? Obviously, our gentle ride didn't do much, hasn't attracted that much when it comes to people. Should we do one of those rides, or should we maybe try and do a small scale coaster? Because we do want a big thrill coaster. That is something that we're gonna want to work towards, and maybe we can even get started in this episode if we're lucky. But we're gonna have to really kind of figure out everything, you know, because let's see, the only other thing I could think of is maybe a boomerang. Even these are kind of expensive, especially if you have a lot. You can see we could get one, because this one doesn't have a whole lot to it, so we could afford that one. Not a whole lot of theming, so if we wanted to do like a boomerang coaster, because those are very much cheap, but I think we're gonna stick with a thrill ride for now. We could go with, we have a lot of different options here. If we go to the thrill category, we want to look at something that has high excitement, but also is very cost effective at the same time, because that is what's going to do good. You see the Forge has a 5.6 excitement rating, which is pretty amazing. 5.6, that's pretty high. And if we look at Wild Blue, it's 5.8. It actually is a little bit higher, and you can see the price of $1,600. That's why that one's always a good investment, because it is a very low price tag with a very high excitement rate. Because excitement rate is what matters most, so we can spend a little bit extra though here. We already have a Pathos, because that one's another one that's pretty cheap that still has a pretty good excitement rating. Overpower the Looper is 6.98, and it's 3.6. Okay, so that's one to actually... I've never actually really build these in my parks very often, but that's actually a good candidate just because of how high that excitement rating is. But it also has high nausea, so that's another thing you gotta consider as well because of the high nausea rating. We also have the hammer swing, which I think the excitement rating should be a lot higher than what it is on that one. We have the Helion ring. Let's see what we got here. Insanity, Iron Claws, okay. All these will probably do pretty decent for the most part, and it just kind of depends. So I do think like Ascendance or the Hyper Jump could be a good one. 1920. The Hyper Jump's a little bit smaller. 14.8, and it's really, for the price difference, might as well go with the bigger one, I guess. I wish these had adjustable heights, but I wish once they figured out how to finally do adjustable heights, I wish they would have made that a thing, you know, and I wish they would have, like, because they made it adjustable heights for the these guys, the Rising Raptor, and those rides, but they didn't update it to where you could change the height of these, which I wish they would have. So anyways, rant over with that. We're gonna go ahead and get this ride going. We need to place an entrance. So the ride has an entrance, and place an exit, which we'll just place over here. Connect entrance to our pathing. Let's do something like this. And we're gonna go ahead and select our grid. Create a little bit of a queue line. Nothing too crazy though. Queue is gonna be relatively smaller. We also need to do a normal path that's going to reach over here. So let's go ahead and bring the width up just a little bit. Turn off that. So it kind of flows with that. It's going to come back around here. And we're going to connect it with the entrance area. And that's going to be kind of where this is going to go. We're going to select the grid, and I'm going to put like a there, because then we're going to kind of close that off a bit. And that gets us to our queue line, which we're going to go a little bit over here and connect it with the path. Do a little curve and turn there. Then we'll select our grid and create an, I didn't do that, but okay. We'll connect this. Small. Gosh dang it, it's gonna be trying to be difficult here. Okay, so we have this listed for $13.50. That's actually really expensive. And we'll go ahead and open it. We're gonna call it Hyper Jump or something like that. That's a good solid name for here. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and have it open. And now I think we're gonna work on, again, we're kind of playing the game a little bit differently than what I would. Obviously, I'd have everything completed before I would open it in real life, but you can see we already have 34% queue line scenery because we're kind of borrowing from over there. But we're gonna go ahead and get some, we're gonna make our own custom queue railings for this ride for the first time in the series, I think. Wood sliding. Let's go building. We're gonna create a simple. Basically, we gotta make a base. We're gonna make a quick base piece here. And this is going to be our starting point right here. I want it small enough that way it has a little bit of flexibility. And we're going to go into fencing. So usually I just type fence. And find the fence that we want. I usually like to use this low fence as a generic fence. And the base is going to already have it raised up pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here. Like so. And we'll extend this out to be right there, but we don't want fighting textures, so we're going to adjust it in the slightest. But we don't want it to be real noticeable, so there we go. And we'll make this into a scenery piece. Like so, and now we can just copy it on over. And it is going to have that classics Planet Coaster glitch where it wants to be. Thankfully, we're with the world axis, so you can just select world axis, so we don't have to worry about the darn glitch where it wants to go diagonal on us. So we can skip that. You can see everyone is definitely excited to go on this ride. Should probably recolor it and everything. I didn't recolor it, or I didn't do anything. I just kept it as is. But we're gonna do our own deal. Again, we're gonna do our own little queue system here. I might put my own little custom corner there to clean that up, but everything is gonna look fantastic. Everything's gonna be fantastic. But we want to make money right away. As you can see, we've already made our money. It looks like we've already made our money back for this ride. So, already a good investment so far. As this is only going to make us more and more money in the end. Which is what it's all about. So, I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I don't want you to think that this is going to be some huge series, by the way, too. This is going to be definitely a shorter series than like Wind Valley Park, the Challenge series. It's not meant to be like that, a successor to that. It kind of is. It's just kind of its own little thing. Once we get to the point where we're making so much money and money doesn't even matter in the game at that point, that's kind of where this series will end, because we had already accomplished our goal at that point. So I don't want anyone to think that this is just going to keep on going until we have like the craziest, biggest mega park of all time. I think our goal is to maybe like get to 100K or something like that. Maybe 1 million. Maybe when we hit $1 million in game, that might be our goal. So like our goal for the series is to hit how to get to $1 million. $1 million. That's like a good goal, I think. Right? Okay, so we're going to continue this queue. We're going to get our queue line scenery rating up by doing this as well, so that's why it's always encouraging to go in and make your own queue line railings and stuff, because it'll actually help the rating of the ride as a whole. So, and it gives it a more unique look, so you're not just using the generic in-game railings. It looks less generic and kind of more customized and more personal, a little bit more personalized, I guess you could say, and customized. It just looks like we put an effort into it, rather than just plopping down a ride and going from there. You know, we're actually doing something here. You know, we're actually doing something. Okay, that's good there. There's the world axis. Again, we're almost done with the railings. That's the one of the more time-consuming, boring parts, I guess you could say. So we have to do railings and just path stuff. It's kind of the most boring part. You know, so. But it's okay. It's okay. Everything's good, because now, I guess we're still going, but it's all good. It gives me a chance to explain stuff and just kind of do a little bit here, you know? We do need to put something on those corners, which we will do here shortly. This gives a kind of a new section / area for our guests, and another thrill ride, because who doesn't like thrill rides? Thrill rides are definitely one of the more appealing things and money makers in the park, so we realized that and said, oh, maybe we should do another thrill ride over another gentle ride, you know? But we'll see how the carousel does. If it does better this week, or this month, rather. I said week. I'm talking about the month. That's what I'm talking about. The month. Don't know if this is going to be short enough, but we'll make it work. A little sketchy, but no big deal. It's just a queue line. Just a queue line. That's all. We're just doing our thing with our queue line. Alright. Might want to rotate this one back just a little bit. Kind of want to line that up as best as we can. There we go. And let's see what our queue line scenery rating is. Up to 100 now. So everyone says it's a bargain now, so maybe we can get back to that $13. But as you can see, we're up to 9,000 now. So we made a good amount of money. Do we have any... Did I ever hire mechanics yet? Or did I keep those? Yeah, I haven't hired mechanics because nothing had broken down. Because I did... The breakdown rate, I did adjust that. Well, look, the Grand Carousel actually did make some extra money this month. But I did not hire one because I felt like I didn't need to pay for one if nothing's broken down yet. So... that was one thing. I think, do we have any work rosters? I can't remember if I made a work roster. I did. I did make one. It's the shop work roster for the employees for the shops, which is definitely good. And then as for the janitors, I have one janitor. We're going to go ahead and train him, raise his pay up a bit. He does have a high workload, but he's doing a fantastic job, though. Everything looks clean. Maybe we do look into hiring another one, but so far he has done a superb job keeping this park clean, and you can even see that all our trash cans are doing pretty well. There's a couple trash cans here that need some help, but nothing's been vandalized yet, so that's a good sign. Needs to get to those trash cans soon. He's probably resting, I wouldn't doubt, in our staff building there, so might be a good idea to potentially start looking at another janitor, because we definitely can afford one at this point, that's for sure. You definitely can. Alright, so we got another thrill ride with Hyper Jump. Did make a profit last month. I think we opened it pretty late in the month. Wild Blue actually lost money? Interesting. I'm curious of why it lost money. These are the things we have to look into. Like, why did this ride lose money this week? Or this month? This particular month. It is kind of an interesting thing. Kind of a mystery. You can't do it based off of 1 month, of course. You're not always going to make money, but I also want to know kind of why it did not make money. But everything else is mostly making money. Let's take a look at the shops. Chief Beef looking good. Gulpy Soda looking fantastic. Looney Balloons looking really good. And then as for our restrooms, actually made $32 since we charged them. Alright, see our, I just saw our janitor go in there, so he looks like he took care of that bin. Hopefully he takes care of this bin in a moment. Oh yeah, I already see litter right there, so we probably do need to go in and add some more bins around this area, so guests do not litter over here, because they already have started to litter over here, which is what we don't want. Don't want that. Alright, we're going to focus on this little section here. I might even make another shop of some sorts. We want to populate anytime we expand. We want to make sure we're populating that area with lots of stuff to attract people over here. So obviously the main attraction is going to be Hyper Jump here. Of course, but if you put other stuff around it, it could be definitely beneficial. So like if we put a gift shop right by it, because you're going to have guests walking through here a lot, it could definitely be a good thing, a positive thing. Janitor is doing a good job keeping the place clean, so hopefully he keeps that up. Let's take a look at him. He is going to go ahead and clean this bin up for us. Thank goodness. And I hope he gets around to this litter over here in this area. He did have a high workload, but now he's back down to normal, so that's good. This bin's already full and he's already heading over there. Good to see, good to see. Do have him nice, and you know, we've kept him at free roaming. Our park's not big enough really to have a work roster yet. He should be able to handle everything on his own for the most part, which he has done very well so far. So, but yeah, we're at $10,000, which should be about enough to where we can start looking at another major coaster here pretty soon. And I'm thinking about building another coaster, potentially right here even, you know, just right here at the entrance right now. Why not? It would really push people onto this left side of the park now, which we've already got up to 740 guests. We were at like 500 something, so Hyper Jump has definitely been a huge success for us. It made almost $1,700 last month, which is absolutely bananas. That's a lot of money. Even our Grand Carousel made a lot of money. So how much money did we make last month? $5,000 in profit. Over 5,000. That's sweet. Like, that's like a 400% increase almost compared to what we had been doing. Like, compared to our average and everything like that. That is looking fairly good. And even with construction costs, we made over 5,000 with our cash flow. So you can kind of see our cash flow. This was a construction month, so I'm not going to count that too much because obviously it was a construction month where we invested into the park. But I think we're making a good enough money now where we could probably start looking towards a new ride or a new attraction that's going to bring in a lot of people, and that is going to be a new coaster. And this will probably be our first big world-class coaster. Something I kind of want to do for some reason. I kind of want to do a really nice little dive coaster. For some reason that sounds really good. And look at it, it's only cost $1,080, which is actually cheaper than a lot of these coasters. You can see like the Giga Invincible, $4,200 just to place the station. That's absolutely absurd. That's like almost nearly half of our funds right there. So I think a dive coaster could be good, and I want to detail this dive coaster really nicely too. So like, we're gonna take our time and actually detail this ride, and the Hyper Jump will get us by for now, and earning money and stuff, so I think that will be a good fit for us and everything like that. So this ride's gonna have like its own little plaza. I want to make like its own little plaza queue area, everything over here, and then the ride itself is gonna come over here, and maybe we can have the path interact with it as we expand this direction. So I want to make a nice little plaza area for this ride. We're gonna have it lifted off the ground a little bit as we go into a... It's not going to be like a huge layout either. Like, I just want to do a nice, really good detailed ride, because now that we have a little bit of money, we can actually start detailing the rides a little bit more and potentially, you know, just do a lot more with what we have here. I'm going to raise this up enough to where we can have a queue line kind of built around it, because we don't have a whole lot of space for like a queuing area and everything. So I think that's what we're going to do. And then of course the exit as well. I think we should probably go with actually the queue on that side and the exit on this side would probably be the smartest idea here for us. So this is going to cost us about $1,080, which makes sense. I even want to do maybe some custom supports on this as well, so we'll look into that. Banking offset needs to be pretty large as well, so we can actually do some good heartline. This is going to be our big first major coaster. You know, we're going from an old rickety wood coaster to B&M, world-class B&M, so very, very nice difference here. Going into it. So let's go ahead and we're going to do an optional catwalk. I should have done it on the last piece as well, but that's okay. And it's going to be like a mini B&M dive, but like with a really good theme. We're going to do 45-degree angle on our lift hill. How much is this going to cost? Not too much, actually. I don't know, do we want it to go that way? Or should we just go straight into our lift hill right from the get-go? Let's do like one tiny straight section, actually. Right here, going straight into our lift. We're going to go straight into the lift. Nice big pieces here. And we're gonna have, again, it's gonna be a pretty small dive coaster. So we're just gonna do about right there, maybe 150, 160 feet. Nothing too huge. 157 is gonna be just fine. Let's go ahead and customize it a little bit. It did cost us quite a bit of money, but kind of come up with a color scheme for this ride. I've always liked the color scheme of like all red track with dark gray supports. I think that always is a nice color scheme. So if we go to the cars themselves, I think it'd be really neat to have some like black trains. They actually look cool. These all dark trains here. Maybe throw a little bit of yellow on there. On the trains. Actually looks pretty sharp, I think so. I think we're gonna go with something along the lines of there. And then I gotta envision how this is gonna go. Big vision. Because again, it's going to be a mini B&M dive, so there's not going to be, the layout's going to be pretty short. Maybe 2-3 inversions at most. And let's go ahead and sometimes I like to work backwards too. I didn't place that, bro. Come on. So maybe look at along the lines of like Iron Menace. Is that the name of the new ride going to Dorney? I hope I got that correct. Something along the lines of that would be really, really cool. All right, so we're going to have a bit of that there. We need to have enough space. Obviously, we gotta mini section there, and then I'm gonna get back to 90 here. I need to have enough space for a queue line, obviously, so we gotta be careful with that. Block section. Gonna be a little tough. We need to test this out first to see if we can even make a queue line here before we get too far. Make sure that we can build underneath that, which we cannot. We can go directly this way though. Oh wait, never mind. No, we can't. I thought we were able to. Alright, so that obviously isn't gonna work, so what we're gonna need to do is either go further around, which I could do, or we can go higher up. So what we're gonna do, I think, is go have a more of a straight section there. We just need to make sure we have the space. Spacing is key. Alright, that should give us enough room where they should have no issues there. And that means we don't have to go quite 15 degrees here like I was doing, so now we can actually do a bit of a shorter section here for the final brake run. So that's going to be our final brake run and our last section of the ride as it turns back into the station. Here we go. And then we could go straight into the B&M dive drop. Or should we turn over to the right first? That's the question. Should we do that? Or should we do like a right turn that you see on like a lot of B&Ms? B&M dives. We could always go straight into there, do our layout and call it good, or go to the right, maybe have like a interaction with a path or a pathway here. Would also be pretty cool. Kind of like so. You know, and do the 160-foot drop or whatnot. Right here, optional catwalk can be off now. Of course, we want this at 90. Coming off of there. And then we can do our gradual pull out here for our first drop. And then it's the question of, do we want to start like every B&M dive with our with the Immelmann? Took our banking offset off already. Okay, I'm also going to start, this is where I'll start to turn off that. So we're going to be, the smoothing and everything's going to Fix this up for us nicely. The smoothing will get it to about where we want it. When we branch this off, we can have our exit of the Immelmann there. And then we can proceed to do the next element, whatever we want it to be. So whether it be like a 0G roll or maybe like a turnaround of some sorts, but again, it will be kind of a mini dive. So we're going to go ahead and start a little bit of our smoothing process here. I know a lot of people say you should wait until you're done with the full layout. I like to do it as I go sometimes, as long as you do it correctly, as long as you're careful with how you do it. Like if you go into a straight section, usually you can go ahead and start a little bit, and after going through 2 times, it actually looks pretty good shape-wise. Again, I might go in and do some custom supporting because it is a little bit off. Well, it does look a bit strange where it's at right now. And I do kind of want to do a different kind of element here, maybe like a element you don't see like too often. Not going to be quite a dive loop, but it's going to, I would consider it an inversion. Might be, you could probably call this a dive loop, but I think I know how we're gonna end this ride. I think we're gonna do like this element here. We're gonna do this element here, come up and maybe do like a 0G roll, and then maybe like do a helix or something going into the brake run. We can stay. We always want to bank it more than where you want it to be, because I know how, because the smooth tool does like to remove banking quite a bit. So, and then we're gonna pop up into here. The idea is we're gonna pop up and do a, depending on how much energy we still have here, we're gonna do a maybe like a 0G roll going over this a little bit. Oh, hey, we got our third star. I forgot about that. Thank you, Planet Coaster. Thank you for that. Alright, and then we're gonna also be going downwards here, where we can... We'll see if this is a slow roll or not. But this will get us back down to here. And then when we exit out of this, I think we're gonna do like a little helix that will lead us up into the brake run. And then that will be a nice little mini dive coaster. Like, you know, obviously it doesn't have a ton of elements. No mid-course. I think we're going to opt for no mid-course on this ride. So, which I think will be perfect for us. So, I can kind of overbank this a little bit. And we'll go 45 is a good spot. Then we'll go up to about 8 degrees, 9, close to 10 degrees maybe. 10 degrees might be a little, actually might be a little high. Let's go more like 6. And then we'll also, let's go closer to 50 degrees. Make it a little bit of a tighter helix. And we'll go ahead and level out there. Might do one more little hop into the brake run. Go down and then pop up into the brakes. Zero. Potentially try and get us one extra pop of airtime, maybe. Just maybe, though. Alright, so let's go ahead and smooth out the rest of our elements here. 2, 3. Oops, it's going backwards there. I love having the smooth mod. It makes things a little bit easier to manage. Like, you can do the smooth method a lot faster. Okay, that's one. Let's go through it again. Take a look at our elements here, how they turned out. This is kind of like, I would kind of describe this element as like a tilted dive loop. It's my new invention. I don't know if it exists anywhere, but it's more of like an overbank turn, but like it kind of looks more like a tilted dive loop if I had to describe it. I don't know. It looks pretty cool though. Alright, I think this looks pretty good. I actually like this coaster a lot. I think I did a pretty good job with it for being like a little mini dive coaster. Let's go ahead and do block sectioned. We can have up to 3 trains if we want to, because I did create another block section, extra block section up here. So if we wanted to, we could do another one, but yeah, we have a nice little mini dive coaster. I guess we should go ahead and test it. We only have $2,000 left after this investment, so that's something to note as well, that we need to watch our money a little bit. I think we kept pretty good in our price range, though. Like, I think we did a good job on pricing. So let's see how this turned out. We're gonna do a test, see if we need to smooth it anywhere. If so, we'll make sure all the track's done, and then we're gonna start on like scenery a little bit. We'll see how far we get into that in this episode. The only complaint I mainly have about the dive section here, it goes into it so fast in Planet Coaster. I don't know why. It's kind of weird, but it's whatever. And hopefully, like, the pacing's okay. So we go into our first Immelmann. Does go a little slow, but that's alright. We go into our tilted dive loop, as I'm calling it. That puts us into a 0G roll, into our helix. Very, very short ride, but a park like this obviously wouldn't be able to afford too much. And we don't have a whole lot of energy to work with. So, makes sense. Goes the other train. Alright, we did make it all the way through, so that's good. And nearly 5 on excitement, so that's good. 2,400 feet of track. Duration of 94 seconds. Max speed of 62 miles per hour. Biggest drop is 123 feet, so I get some good hang time on that inversion. Maybe. Alright, it's got a total of 3 inversions. So, minute and a half ride. About what I was going for. Some crazy screams going on there. Alright, let's make sure that it's spaced out okay. I want to make sure, hopefully this doesn't stop on the lift. I want to avoid that if we can, of course, so. We can always space it out a little bit, but and it's fairly smooth. We smoothed it out pretty well. I think it's going to stop. Because it's got to go past this point. Only stopped for half a second. So not too bad. And once you get have guests loading in, the dispatch times are going to slow down a little bit, so. Oh, the excitement went up to 5 for some reason. Average speed is 17 miles per hour. Alright, I think that's pretty good. It's right there, front and center. It's going to be very picturesque. So, not looking half bad. I'm debating whether I should decorate it up and have a big grand opening first, or if I should go ahead and finish everything up before we open it. Because I could easily make a quick queue line right now and at least get people on it, but. Or we could hold off. You know, so. That's kind of what I'm debating right now. So, but if we're going to do supports, obviously we have to go in and uncheck that every time, so we have to edit the coaster to even do that. So if I have to do that, I have to close it every time, which would cost us money. And we don't have to do custom supports on every spot. We can actually go as we need here, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's see what pieces we could use here. I know we have in-game, but I also have some ThemeMaker's Toolkit items that we can also use as well. And these are that's the small, here's the large. The large connector. I don't know if we want to use this or actually use like a, because this is going to have one of those supports like this that are angled. And we have to kind of blend it in a bit first. So like it's connected here. We're going to go all the way across. And then I'm also going to go down a little bit here. Create like this big piece here. Maybe one more. This is how I usually create these, is use this little piece here to build it down and use it kind of almost like an arch shape. I guess you could say. Okay, I think that might be good. Does the other side look okay visually? All right. Then we'll go in here, select all these. Make it a scenery group, and then I'll build off of that, and then we'll find our connection piece here, or our transition piece, or flange piece. One that's big enough. That connects this with the support structure. So we'll go red, and then we have gray support, or dark gray supports, so we want to make sure that is good. Could maybe use this piece instead. It's a longer piece. Or could use this one and put two pieces in there, like so. And that gives you plenty of space for your support beams. So you can do this, and then we can go boop. They're always angled, but they do look good. So. And go here, flip it to the other side. And that looks a lot better than what we have in game, so then we find a nice footer. Usually the large one for something like this, so. And I usually angle these ones like that. The good thing about this will add scenery rating to your ride as a whole too, so it's actually really nice to have. And then we can actually put in some flanges as well. Usually there are some towards the top, or close to where the connection pieces are. Kind of like that. And we got a nice support beam there. So, and then we can continue this trend. And these are going to use the large connectors because B&M dive coasters are pretty wide pieces of track. I think they're a little bit bigger in Planet Coaster 2s as well, so make sure we're good there as well. So go in here. Just have some extra supports. Boop, boop. I'm no engineer, but hopefully that support makes sense. If it doesn't, it's alright. I'm actually not going off of any references right now either, so just based on my the knowledge I have of what each element would be, how it would be supported, so. I can probably tell this comment section like, that doesn't make sense for the G-forces, which you may very well be correct. But it's okay. We're just gonna go in and do our best from our the knowledge that we do have. So it doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be visually look good and look good or close. So okay, so for this support beam, I would rather have it just straight. Like so. With a nice footer. You can see kind of how we're going here with this, so. And we could actually, once you get, the good thing about custom supporting is once you get a certain amount of supports, you can actually go in and start to copy and paste and then just make the adjustments you need. Which is what I like to do quite often actually, so. But looking pretty good. I said we weren't going to custom support everything, but I was like, yeah, these are actually looking quite nice, so I might actually replace these too with some better looking supports. Just because, like, they should be a bit thicker too. That's the thing. The ones in game are a little bit too thin. So the support structure supports do need to be quite a bit thicker. And the ones they use are just like super thin. Okay, so if we go here, and I always do like to use a combination of in-game supports too, with in-game and standard, or in-game and ThemeMaker's Toolkit. So I use some ThemeMaker's Toolkit pieces, but I also do like to use some portions of the in-game ones too. So when it comes to this support, the large one. We're gonna have it lined up here, but I think we're gonna angle it to where, if you want to test out where it's gonna go, you can always do this too. It's always a good idea. Then you can just do this. That, and then we can create another one. We're freezing. Probably an autosave. Yeah, it's been about an hour since we've started, so I'd imagine this is gonna be an autosave that I have encountered. Even though the park's not that big, it shouldn't freeze the game up too much, but it does sometimes, so. Also gotta remember these trains are really wide, so we do need to make sure we're far enough out as well. Okay, well this is, I feel like a oh no, I was just clicked off the game apparently. Alright, we're fine. Everything's fine. Let's go a little closer up here. And I'm not even going to test this out because it should, for sure be fine. Underneath this one. There we go. It's good, pretty good looking support there. Then get our flanges in place. And then I think I'll put an extra one right down here, just because it is one of the largest supports. Same with this one, we'll put it right back down there. And get ourselves some footers. For these supports real quick. Custom supporting, it can be a bit of a pain, you know, time consuming and such, but once you start getting some supports in, you start realizing like, oh wow, this is actually pretty good, you know. I don't mind doing this coaster just because the coaster is pretty small in scale, so like custom supporting shouldn't, in theory, take too long here. So really shouldn't take too much effort here. And it can, but it shouldn't take too much. Now, I could use a more angled piece here. So, and that's where our Theme Maker's Toolkit comes in handy here. Can actually use these angle pieces here. Now, obviously these are pretty small for what we need, so we're gonna go ahead and just double it up and make it a little wider. Kind of like so, and then we'll put our flange piece, should be fine there. There we go. And we're gonna use a vertical piece for here. Maybe with a combination with an angle piece coming off here to the side for this particular support. And again, get our flange piece in place here. And footers. Footers are always nice. But yeah, let me know, guys, if you enjoy having... Oh, there's the autosave. I thought it was earlier when I thought we froze up. But maybe that was the autosave there. And let me know if you guys enjoy these uncut episodes. Like, I wanted to do something that I could easily get out to you guys, and because I don't even edit these episodes, I legit just record them and upload them. There's no editing involved, unless I absolutely have to and I mess something up. But the idea is these are very easy for me to make, which puts a lot of pressure off of me when it comes to trying to create content. Now, I'm not saying like I'm never going to edit again or anything, but more so like whenever I want to, I can just go in and do this now, so I can do an episode of this and such, you know. It'd be pretty easy. Okay, we'll delete the excess pieces there. This might just be a one vertical piece that we use. We are going to switch the piece we use here to this one. Scooch it over a bit. And we're just gonna do one vertical beam. Because we don't really need to do an outside there. Alright, so that section's pretty much done for the Immelmann. The Immelmann's looking pretty solid. I do think I want to go in and do custom supports for this, because obviously these supports just make no sense. Like, why are they on the inside? Like, look at those connectors. Like, that just doesn't make sense. It makes sense to put them on this side. But for some reason it decided to go on the inside, so... we do want to probably custom support the drop a little bit too, because it's looking a little crowded with support beams there. A little bit, so... Might actually look up some real pieces for that, or real-time things for that, so... Real-time things? No, I mean, like, references. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. What I was trying to say there. Okay, so we have pretty much a big overbank section here, where we can probably use these pieces to our ability, best of our ability. I still love coasters that have red with the dark gray supports. It's one of my favorite color schemes on rides. Don't know about you guys, but I love this color scheme. One of my faves. Alright, we're gonna do some angles here for this, which will be just fine. So to do this, we're gonna take so we're not gonna do like a vertical piece, because I mean we probably could. It's just gonna be slightly angled. We're not gonna go. We're just gonna be slightly angled here. Just a pinch. So slightly angled support there, and then we're gonna go down a tad here and do a angled support. Because I feel like this is what we would get. Support structure that's kind of somewhat like this is what I would say we would get with these, so. Something along the lines of those. Get our footer. And then we'll just copy this. Basically, we're just going to copy this a little bit to the other side too. You can see that we have that one, and then we're just going to copy it on this side as well, and hopefully it will work. Might have to adjust it a little bit, so might have to use a different connector here. Might have to use a custom connection. So we're just gonna have to go into our... got the colors backwards on this. There we go. these in here, and then we find the connector piece that we need. That one actually should work just fine. We can just push it in there. Like that. And there you go. Looks a lot better and makes more sense, for sure, than what was there before. Because these are actually a lot more simplistic, and again, it makes a lot more sense. Alright, and then we have a 0G roll. Obviously this support structure doesn't make sense. This one's not too bad, but I think it would go inside. More or less, so yeah. We're still in year 2. We haven't advanced much in this episode, which is totally fine, but you can see quite nicely. So let's go ahead and get one more POV for those of you that may have missed it. We'll get a POV here. I'll go ahead and fast forward to the top. Yeah, we need to come up with a name of this. So if you guys have a good name for this ride, or theme/name, let me know down in the comments, because I would like to get a name for the next episode. And we'll name it up. We'll give it that good old name. Crazy that our first steel coaster is going to be a B&M dive. Yeah, those supports look a lot nicer. I think some of the banking might be off just a little bit, but it might be a little bit too banked. Some spots I always overbank it because of the way the smooth tool works on Planet Coaster, so I like to get rid of the banking. Alright, so not bad. I like this little dive coaster. I might even put it on the workshop when I'm all done with the supports and stuff. Again, I probably won't custom support the entire thing. I'm going to support a decent amount, though. I might leave a few, like small ones, you know, that like these guys and stuff like that. We'll do the 0G roll, and we do need to do the drop a bit, make it look a little bit better. But yeah, I know this episode we didn't do too much, but we did. Well, I mean, we built a nice new coaster, and we did this section, but we're going to do a lot. In the next episode, we should finish up the dive coaster with all its scenery and get this area looking quite nifty. So, and the park's going to start growing. This is our big first huge attraction coming into the park. So it'll be a great investment for the park, I think, because we did spend a considerable amount on this ride. You know, so well over $7, $8, $9, so far almost $10,000. So that's a lot of money for what we had. So, but I think we had enough money to start to actually look in this direction, and we still have money left over. So I think it was a good investment for a mini B&M dive coaster, because the layout's pretty short, so it's not going to cost us too much. But it also gives us a nice thrill ride with multiple inversions and everything. So that's going to about do it for this episode, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you leave a comment of what you think I should name this coaster and everything, and maybe we'll have a name for it by the next episode. So make sure you guys have a great day, and even cooler tomorrow. I'll catch you guys in the next episode, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, and even cooler tomorrow. Thanks, and goodbye.